Danny Gaffone for Pro Boxing fans, delighted to be
No,
joined by Billy Nilsson via Zoom. Billy, we'll get straight into it. The IBF have ordered a rematch between your man Lewis Crocker and Paddy Donovan after a very controversial, very talked about first fight. Give us your reaction.
well, we've no qualms about fighting Paddy Donovan whatsoever, as long as it's for a world title. Um, does Paddy Donovan deserve it? No, because he failed multiple occasions. He broke the rules. I mean, I, I can't understand how when Paddy's lost the fight, right? Paddy lost the fight. Let's not forget that Paddy lost the fight, and he's went from number six in the rankings up to number three. How's that possible? Beyond me. And then the ruling from the IBF is that there was no clacker at 10 seconds, which is not the case. There was a clacker. I heard it, and then I heard the bell. The only person out of 8,000 people that never appeared to hear the bell was Paddy himself when he landed two punches after the bell, which is a clear foul. That constitutes the third foul in the. How the IBF, I mean, the bottom line is, uh, I believe the Irish Boxing Board are very unhappy with the decision, and I'm also told the British Boxing Board are not happy with it, and I think there'll be an appeal.
Okay, lots to unpack there. You mentioned there you'd have no qualms fighting Paddy if it was for the world title. Obviously the full belt
Not at
currently.
all. Listen, Paddy boxed particularly well that night,
Yeah.
but he fouled.
So if So a lot of people are expecting IBF champion Boots Ennis to move up after the unification with Stanionis. If hypothetically, say Stanionis was to win or Ennis was to decide to stay at 147 and the fight was ordered as a final eliminator again, would that change you and Lewis's thinking on fighting Paddy again?
Well, we're mandatory. We're mandatory for the IBF. So if Stanionis won it, sorry, if Boots won it and decided to stay at 147, then the IBF must order us to fight Boots Ennis. But the high probability is that, and it's if's a small word with a big meaning in boxing.
Yeah.
If Boots beats Stanionis, which is no gimme, far from it. If he beats him, the likelihood is he'll step up to 154.
Yeah.
And even if Stanionis won it, he might look at a unification fight. So you just don't know. Listen, if if we've got to fight Paddy Donovan, we will. We never had an issue the first time. It certainly wouldn't be an issue the second, as
Okay.
long as we've got a strong referee. Because all the years I've been in boxing, I don't like saying this. That was the dirtiest performance I've ever seen for another fighter.
Yeah. I saw you say on Twitter, Billy, you referenced that in the aftermath of the first fight, Eddie Hearn was saying he expected the IBF to order a rematch, and then you sort of said, surprise, surprise, what he said happened. Do you believe there was pressure from Matchroom on the IBF to push for the rematch?
No, no, there was. No, we're led to believe there was no correspondence from Matchroom to IBF at all. But for Eddie to come out and say that so quickly after the fight, I mean, it was in the changing room.
Yeah,
In the changing room, he said it in front of Andy and Paddy. I think there'll be a rematch. I think there'll be an appeal going in. We've only come out the ring 20 minutes. In the same respect, he never came to see how Lewis Crocker was, who is also his fighter and had just received 22 stitches in the first aid room. So there was a map, just me personally, there was a bias towards Paddy Donovan for Eddie to win.
okay. The IBF have said the rematch will have to take place within 120 days. Now, Lewis suffered some pretty significant facial damage in that first fight. Do you expect an extension to be made on that, or do you think Lewis could be ready to box Paddy again in that time frame?
As I've said to you, there's a high probability that there'll be a appeal going in. So
Yeah.
let's see how that goes first.
If it is to be the rematch, now you've said yourself Paddy was boxing very well. The fight wasn't going you and Lewis's way. How confident are you your man can make the
No.
changes to have it frank, prove a lot of people wrong because most people will, based off the first fight, probably see Paddy as a pretty clear favourite.
Well, that's good if they see him as favourite because I know Lewis never performed on the night. It's a simple fact that he never performed on the night. And if he performs on the night, he's more than capable of beat any welterweight.
Yeah.
He just never performed. And some days it's like that. Some days it's like that. It's just not there. Why? We don't know. We've got an idea, but we don't know for sure.
How's Lewis been since the first fight? Obviously, he's been on the receiving end of some criticism, probably, harshly. It wasn't
What?
him.
Why has he been criticised, mate? Is he criticised because the guy lamped to Nottingham 10, 12 times? That the guy put an elbow straight into his cheekbone and caused a cut, which ultimately closed his eye. And because he got hit after the bell, is that why he was criticised? Fuck me. I wouldn't. I wouldn't have liked to done something wrong.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying for one second any of the criticism towards Lewis is justified, but I'm just wondering how he's dealt with the aftermath of all this. Obviously, biggest fight of his career. Lots of comments fly about social media. You know yourself, it can be a bit of a cesspit at times. Just how's he dealt with the whole situation?
Lewis is fine. Lewis knows he never performed to our high standards. And he said even in the hotel room that night, I've no problem fighting him again. So there's no problem. I mean, there's no Paddy boxed well. Paddy boxed as good as Paddy can box. Lewis certainly didn't. But listen, I'm gonna only going on the letter of law of the sport. Paddy got disqualified and lost the fight. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. He got disqualified and rightly so. Would you agree or do you disagree?
I think, the word Paddy was fouling. I mean, the leading of the head, people have different opinions on. The shot definitely was late. The two shots were late.
What about the elbow, mate, that he never get penalised for?
Obviously, I only saw a slow motion replay of the elbow. I couldn't see it ringside. From the
So,
replay
so
I
you've
saw,
seen it, so you can make a judgment on it. Don't
that
don't don't go around the houses here.
I'm
Don't
getting
go around
the
the houses
I'm,
and be a
I'm, I'm
hypocrite.
getting
You seen it? You seen the elbow?
the elbow looked
That's a
bad.
clear foul. Is
The elbow
that
looked bad.
is that a clear foul? Yes or no?
From the video I saw, the elbow looked like a clear foul. Yeah, I would say.
Was it worthy of a point? Was it worthy of a point deduction?
I would have said so. Yeah, that elbow would have been. But I think
I
the
rest my case.
the contention people have and people maybe want to see a rematch is how well Paddy was boxing, and you want to see the best fighter fight for the world title, and Paddy looked to be the better man on that night. So I think that's why people will want to see
But
the rematch.
yes, yeah. There's no argument that he was the better man. But when my man's cut over his eye due to a head clash, cut over his other eye due to a head clash, cut under his eye due to an elbow. Do you not think that a wee bit of sympathy should be given to Lewis Crocker? He's got three cuts. The cut man done fantastically well, Jamie Sheldon. He couldn't see out his right eye because of the elbow. That had a major effect on his right eye, which means he can't see Paddy's left hand coming. Have you ever boxed?
Not to the level of Lewis Crocker, that's for sure.
Well, try boxing with one eye.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult. So it is.
No, as I say, the facial damage to Lewis, no one would deny that was significant and probably had a significant impact on the fight itself. Um, all this talk, Billy, there's been lots of it. There was a big fight before, the aftermath was even bigger. Would you say this is,
Uh,
go on, sorry.
I'm saying it was only significant because of the fouling committed by Paddy. So he was, as I said before, and I've told Paddy, he's a his own downfall. He boxed lovely, but his discipline was poor, wasn't it?
Yeah, There was foul in there for sure.
I mean, that's the be all and end all, it, mate. It's the be all and end all. See anybody that says, "How do you deserve a rematch when you've committed so many fouls?"
Well, Billy, the internet seems to be cutting us short here, but always a pleasure to speak to you.
Aye.
We'll keep eyes peeled on certainly this appeal. But one thing for sure, it'll be a massive rematch if it does happen between Lewis and Paddy.
Well, listen, if and when it happens, I look forward to it.
Okay. Well, Billy,
Okay, mate.
good to speak to you, mate. I'll let you get on. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend, mate. Thanks.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.